Good evening, YouTubers. This is Dan Leone, Plastic Model Building 101. I just wanted to tell you, I want to just give you the latest update on my model that I'm building right here. This is the Tamiya 148 scale A6M3 Japanese Zero. The kit, I put the kit together, and I got to tell you, Tamiya has done it again, bar none. Tamiya, of all the kits I have, I mean, people ask me like, Dan, what do you like better, Tamiya or Hasegawa? It's kind of a toss-up, but I have to say I would have to go with Tamiya. Main reason why, Hasegawa is good. I mean, good fit, everything, you know. But one thing about Hasegawa has a little bit more parts to finagle with, and Tamiya really doesn't. But that's just me. What kind of drawbacks, setbacks that I've encountered in this kit? Well, in this kit, you have the lights, the nav lights on this, and when you cut the nav lights off the sprue, I tell you, I was really sweating bullets because I thought, man, if I lose a nav light in the carpet, forget it. I cannot find it. So if you ever have a kit that requires putting the nav lights on the wings, I would highly recommend wearing an apron, a parts apron. Okay. Also, the decal, as far as the cockpit and everything, putting the little throttles and everything, highly recommend using a magnifying glass. I do wear glasses, so you always want to, if you have glasses, I mean, I guarantee you over time you're gonna need. I guarantee you, all the squinting you're doing and all that. Trust me, you want to have glasses. Anyway, I went ahead and masked the landing gear bays with silly putty. You can get silly putty just about at any store if they sell it. I got mine through eBay. So anyway, also as you can see, I went ahead and painted the interior Otaki with the flap area too. Also, the landing gear bay areas is also painted Otaki. And I went ahead and left the hook out. So that way, when you do glue everything, it doesn't, when you put everything together, you want to paint everything separate first, then go ahead and put them on the airplane, put them on the model. This, of course, is a cotton ball. I put it in the engine right here, and this is the kit supplied masks. Now, the paint I use is a Tamiya spray paint. I went ahead and did it. I went ahead and spray painted it, which most of these zeros, the earlier zeros, this is an A6M3. The A6M3, some of them had the IGN, and also some of them then later on, and this was early in the war, and then like around 42, 43, Japanese zeros of the A6M3 and the A6M5 were, well, the A6M3s were painted like an IGN gray, which had a slight hint of green, like a slight tint of green in it. And then later on, especially in the South Pacific around the Solomons and things and places like that, the camouflage, they modeled the camouflage with an IJN green, just kind of like what the Luftwaffe did with their airplanes, and the Italians did with their airplanes in North Africa and Sicily and Italy. Here's the painting instructions. Here's the painting diagram of how you can paint what you want to paint your airplane. I'm going to go ahead and paint it. This one right here. I know it's kind of boring, but hey, of course, later on in the war and also in training units, their planes were also painted in this color too, just flat plain IJN green. So anyway, this is going to be like a mid-war Japanese Zero. Now, the kit did come with decals, or should I say decals, for all you European folks out there. So anyway, here's the or water transfers and so forth. So either one would work. Now, as far as applying the paint, if you're doing spray paint or airbrush, you always want to spray paint just one time. Just make sure that your airbrush is on, your booth is on with your fan going, because you don't want to get high off the paint or anything, off the fumes or anything. Also, you make sure you use this in a well ventilated area as well too. You don't want to okay. So anyway, of course, if you have a respirator, I use a respirator, so use one. This is for safety purposes too. So also make sure your cats are out and the kids are asleep. So anyway, now applying the decals. A lot of people, they apply Future. This is Future right here. You can get this in any supermarket. Also, I have a top coat. You can get this in any hobby shop. Testers makes gloss coat. You can do gloss coat as well too. So either one will work. Now, why do you want to gloss your model? I'll tell you why. When you apply a flat finish, if you ever take some and put some underneath a microscope, it's going to look like the Grand Canyon. I mean, it's real rough and everything, and your decals are not going to cling to it. They won't. So, you always want to have a smooth sheen surface on your model. Once you've done that, your decal is going to adhere to the surface really well. Once you've done that, I also have some microsol. What this does, when you put this on, you brush it on to your kit, to your decals, and it's going to start crinkling and everything. But look, when you see that, don't panic. Okay, like, oh my God, it's going to ruin the decals. Oh my God. No, don't panic. It's supposed to do that. Give it a few minutes, 5, 10, 15 minutes, and it will dry completely, and the decal will have that painted on look. And trust me, because I've had that happen to me as well too. Also, when you put your decal on, before you put this on, it's going to bubble up. You're going to have air bubbles trapped in there. So what I would do is get a little pin or whatever, or a hobby knife, and just slit little slits and have a cotton swab. Dip it in some soft set, and while you're soft setting the decal, you're smoothing out the decal as well too. So you always want to smooth it out real well. Make sure all the air bubbles are out. Make sure everything is painted to the surface. Okay. Now, once the decal is dried, everything's nice and dry. Come back and you want to seal in the decal. You want to seal in the model. So you want to spray. You also want to spray it on to seal in the decals. Once everything is sealed in, leave it overnight. Then apply your dull coat. Same as this, but it's dull. Spray it around, and that way everything be nice and dull, and I'll have a little bit of weathered look. Now, if you also have any type of, I have some what you call. Some people like to put some around the crevices and all that, to make it look like it's kind of, you don't want your model looking too new, like factory new. Especially because I'll tell you, especially around the South Pacific, for the Japanese, maintenance was either crude or non-existent. So I would use this. This is some aircraft wash, and you want to put it like around your ailerons and all around the cracks and crevices and so forth. You want to make it look like it's, you know, weathered. Also, if you have like if you want to simulate like around paint scrapes and chips and things like that, I have a pencil, and you can just do that all around, like especially where the pilot is going in and out of, you know, stepping in and out of the cockpit, and also around, you know, put it like around the seat, make it look like, you know, because the parachute buckles and things like that is always chipping the paint and everything, and also the pilot stepping in and out of the airplane, also like around the leading edges, the wings, the horizontal stabilizers, the vertical stabilizers, around the cowling, where the prop is, you know, throwing up a bunch of coral rocks and dust and so forth. So anyway, that's about it. So anyway, I'm going to start doing that here pretty soon, and once I get done, I will let you know. So anyway, I'll show it to you when everything's done. So anyway, this is Dan Leone. Happy modeling.